Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am your host, Dr. Diana Collins, and I want to welcome you to today's episode. We're on season 7, people. Can you believe it? I can't. But I'm happy to be here for season 7 and many more seasons to come. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who are joining in for the first time. And this is like an introduction to the Soulful Eclectic. Thank you for taking the time out. If you're returning, I mean, what can I say? But thank you, thank you, thank you so very much for returning to yet another season of the Soulful Eclectic. So yes, we are on season number 7, people. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. And you know what? And it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. The goal for season 7 was to do all these changes, as you know, it always is. And life happens, things happen. But you know what? The show must go on, and I am going to continue to go on. And here we are today. So, yeah, I mean, this season I have a couple of new guests coming on who are freaking amazing. And so I appreciate all of you who reached out and wanted to be a guest on the show. And you will be a guest on the show. So we're doing all that as well. And I want to thank all my guests who are coming back because, yeah, they got stuff to say. There's things going on, some changes, you name it. I think it's just welcome change. So today, right? We're restarting, resetting, doing all these things in life. And when I spoke a couple of weeks ago about the pre-season start, I talked about the book that I'm writing, and we will be launching the date sometime in October. Now, unfortunately, the panel that will take place in St. Louis, I will not be able to attend, as you all know, I'm waiting for the birth of my first grandchild. So I'm excited with that. But I'm also got other things in the wind, so I won't be able to attend the panel. So I'm hoping that there'll be another panel sometime along some ways down along the line. I don't know. But yes, you will be able to purchase the books from me. And again, I have a beautiful chapter in there about just being your authentic self and resetting yourself, relaunching yourself, and then that whole piece of becoming. And it's really just about me. It's just a little snippet into who I am, how I got here, just a little bit. It's not too detailed. I save that for the autobiography when that comes out. It's going to be a New York Times bestseller. I'm telling you. But yeah, so we're doing that. And then, oh my gosh, you guys know how much I just love and adore my husband. He is amazing. Not only for the amount of support and care that he provides to me and to our family, but just for the mere fact of who he is and how he changes and evolves. And you know, we've grown as husband and wife together, as friends, as you know, lovers. We've grown together, and you know, yeah, we have some missteps and things like that, but all in all, this is quite a ride, quite a ride. And I'm enjoying where it's taking us. So right now my husband is embarking on a journey of becoming like an artist here in the state. And I don't want to say becoming, because he's always been an artist to me, and I've always told him to embrace that piece of him and claim that piece of him. He does not really believe that he doesn't know what to call himself. And I'm like, dude, you're an artist. I mean, yes, you have a profession, another profession outside of being an artist, but now you can add being an artist to your repertoire of things that you are and that the things that you do. And so he does these great paintings. They're called linos etchings. And so he finds an image that that resonates with him, and he sketches it out, and then he lines it out, and then he presses it and inks it. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you. So he's having his first show in a couple of, and actually next week. And so we're excited to see that and to hear where that is going to take him. And then this weekend, Saturday, the 21st of September, we are having an open mic downtown, 1401 East Van Buren Street here in Arizona, downtown Phoenix area. And it's called, I think it's the Archwood area there. But we're going to be there doing an open mic night there. And I'm excited because I'm an actress as well, so I love to perform whenever I can. So I have the opportunity to perform a short snippet of a story. So I appreciate that opportunity. So yeah, so like I said, I've been busy. I work part time now. Well, that is not that. I misspoke. The goal was to work part time, but I actually work full time at night. People, when you see, I appreciate my content creators because yes, that is a full time job to content create and to come up with ideas and to put it all together to make it look all nice. That takes time, and I have a skill set that is, I guess I can create content based around it, but I just choose not to. You got many other people creating content about it, and I know I am different from everybody else, so I cannot put myself in the box of being like everyone else. And for those of us who are always in our head, that's the hardest thing to do because we see all the things that are out there, and then we say, oh, but mine is not like that. And it's similar, but it's not like that because it's you. It's you, and you are not that person. So what you create is not going to be the same thing. And that's something that I constantly have to tell myself. So, it's not like I'm just talking to you guys. I'm talking to myself too. I have to be able to be okay with who I am and just know that I am enough and what I'm creating is going to be for someone that's out there. Same with my product, Divine Nubian Essentials. I love my skin and hair care line. Yes, you have celebrities out here. You have your neighbors that are out here making skin products and hair oils and all these things. Yours is different. Mine is different. And I can stand to that. I can tell you why I love my product, and I can tell you why those who return for purchases love my product. I can't speak to somebody else's product and what they do. I really can't. So it's the same with talent and content creation. You are your own individual. I can't come out here and say, compare myself to Viola Davis and Angela Bassett. Hell no, I'd be a damn fool and drive myself crazy. I am Dr. Diana Collins. I can only be Dr. Diana Collins. I cannot be any otherbody else. Now, there are components that I have learned from many individuals that will have those show in my skill set, but at the end of the day, it's me. And that's how I have to tell, that's what I have to tell myself and how I get through different things. Cause you go on audition, submit tape after tape after tape, because not that many of us are going face-to-face auditions anymore. A lot of us are doing Zoom auditions. This box is our life. And so I have to remember that as well. And I think I went off the rails just a little bit, but it's all right. I knew where I was going. So yeah, so we will be doing a show this Friday downtown, East Van Buren, 1401 East Van Buren is the street. Starts at 7 p.m. If y'all in the Phoenix area and I just need to do some entertaining and you want to come on down, come down. Mosaic Entertainment is presenting it. So yeah, we gonna be doing some things. We don't do some things. Like I said, my husband has an art show coming up too. Actually, that would not be in Phoenix. That will be in Tucson. It will be at the Ruby House here in Tucson, Arizona, and that will be on the 28th of September. 28th of September. I'm looking for the flyer right now as I was talking to you. The 28th of September at the Ruby House. So I added house to it. It's just the Ruby. It's the Ruby, RUBI, and it's 175 East 12th Street. It's a gathering. I think who is doing this one? I think it's the AKAs are doing a fundraiser. And during that fundraiser, we have art that is representing the Tucson artists in the area, Black Tucson artists in the area. So please, if you are like in the area and you are just trying to find something to do, date night, whatever, please come out. I had the lovely conversation yesterday with the art collective here in Tucson, Arizona. Again, I'm looking for the flyer, so please bear with me. Uh, a member of the creative community. It's at the drawing studio here in Tucson, Arizona. So if anyone is an artist and they love art, um, art of any kind, you can participate in the drawing studio. But I was able to hear a lovely artist who I can call now. I don't want to call her a friend yet, but to me she seems like she would be a friend. But is someone I'm an associate of mine, someone I know, and so her name is Randizia Fletcher, and she's a self-made artist. She'll tell you she did not go to have formal training. Her formal training is in something else, and she's a veteran as well. So that also resonated with me, that the fact that you're an artist, but also you're a veteran as well. So we got to talk to her and her husband, and we are a part of the collective. But I mentioned this because it brought to me a conversation, and I wrote it down while we were there. We are so busy. And I said this today when I was doing my walk. I haven't been walking as much as I was. Like, I was on a streak. I had 8 weeks in that I was going 5 days a week and walking up to 5 miles. Then I got on a streak and I fell off. How? I got a job working, doing a show. I ended up getting a commercial that I did. So I had to fly out for that. And then things started happening with family. So I was flying out for that. So all these things took away from, let me rephrase that. I allowed myself to succumb to those things and let my needs fall off. Yes. I'm not blaming situations. I'm not no, it was me. It was me. And I had that conversation with me this morning. And I sat there and I was laying there. I get up every day at like 5 a.m. I mean, you guys, if you follow me, on TikTok or whatever, I was posting my walking, running photos and my end results. And I get up at 5. I do my meditation. I stretch. I take my vitamins. I do my tea, not my tea, but my water and ginger, warm water and ginger before I ingest food. I have my warm water and ginger, and then I, sit with myself for a little bit and just kind of get my day. I do a good deep stretch, and then I did my walk. It was like my time for me before my husband got up. So I was doing that, and I stopped doing that. I would lay in the bed, and I think it started when I got a full-time job. The traveling was part of it, but getting a full-time job also added to it, because now it's like, okay, now I have to restructure what I'm doing, because now I have to get up at 5, but now I'm not just getting up at 5 for me. I'm getting up at 5 so I can prepare myself to go to work. I'm getting up at 5 so that I can get my mind right, and I'm not adding to the fact that that walk was getting my mind right, right? That walk that was the whole purpose of the walk, to then be at one with myself and get myself centered and ready for the day. But I took it out. I took it out because I'm like, okay, I can use this time to kind of like rest my body. Nah, I can, whatever. I wasn't doing it. And I hadn't done it in months. Months. So my husband said, let's go back to the gym. So we went to the gym, and then all of a sudden the gym decided they want to do reconstruction, and the other gym is just a little bit further. And I don't mind driving a little further, but my husband doesn't like to drive too much further. So it's like, so that took away from it. And now I'm like, all right, I got to get serious with my health. Full disclosure, I'm going to be 50 this year. 50. 50. I love me because of the simple fact I don't think I look 50. Okay. Some people may disagree. That's okay. That's for them to decide. I know I don't feel like I look like I'm 50 and going to be a grandmother, but I am. And I'm excited about it. I'm not feeling any kind of way about it. I'm excited about it. But I know also in that there's some things that I need to change and some things that I need to adjust in my life. And part of that is myself, being at one with myself, taking care of myself for myself. Now, you got a lot of people who will say, well, I am going to, take care of myself, eat better, exercise because I want to be here for my grandkids. I want to be here for my kids. It's always for someone else. I'm merely going to do it because I want to do it for me. I want to feel better. I want to look better. My damn right knee hurts. Now, the reason why I don't go to the doctor to go look at it, because one, I didn't do a damn thing as far as pushing, pulling, twisting, or anything for it to get damaged. I know it's just me. I know it's activity. The last time I went in, because it hurt like this, they did x-rays and all these things, and it was fine. There was nothing wrong. Now, does not discount that I probably still need to go in and have it looked at. So please don't, even though I am a medical professional, we are our worst patients, okay? And I can admit that. I am the first to let something go until I'm like, okay, I just really need to go. And that's not good practice. It's not good for any of us. And I tell people that all the time. But anyways, so yeah, so taking care of myself and doing it for me, not for anyone else. Nothing else is the driver except for me, and the fact that I want to be able to enjoy the next 50 odd years of my life. And you guys may laugh and be like, how you know you're gonna be around for 50 years? Okay, let me tell y'all something. My grandmother on my dad's side is 93. She'll be 94 this year. Her sister just recently passed. And yes, I have another ancestor who is watching over me. She was 103. So yeah, I have some longevity on half of me. The other half of me probably has some level of longevity. My great aunt on my mom's side, I think she'll be 90 this year. I believe she'll be 90. And that's my mom's mom aunt. My mom's sister. Ooh. So my grandmother's sister, my great aunt, my grand aunt. Yeah. So there's longevity. I say that to say there's longevity. And I want to be here. I want to be able to have my facility, my faculties, my cognitive abilities with me, my physical abilities with me for as long as the Lord allows. Okay, so I'm going to do my part and take care of myself, which means I am going to work out. And I'm actually looking at doing a personal trainer because I feel like I work better with someone has a plan that is going to help build me. Because right now I just go to the gym, I lift some weights, do some rowing machine, do some treadmill, do some, what's that, the elliptical, and maybe do the TRX bands. hmm Do some squats with the bell. That's about it. I need some real structure. So, and as crazy as it sounds from me being in the military, I do better when there's someone just get, hey, 10 more. You can do it. You can do it. And I had oh gosh, she was like the best trainer ever. Corey. Shout out to you, Corey. You are amazing. And I tell you that time and time again, we still talk on Facebook. She's in PA, but she was like the personal trainer. Like she would create shit for me to do. And then I would come in and I would like, okay, you just made that shit up. Why? But it was just like she knew, and when I hit a plateau, she was like, okay, we're gonna change some things up. So I need that in my life. And being vegan and my diet, I need somebody who's going to be able to navigate my diet as well. So yeah, anyone who wants to have a conversation about this, please feel free to reach out to me because I'm all about finding fitness and fitness goals. And I was able to, from being walking when I was the way I was and taking my vitamins and things like that. And I do a lot of herbs. So I was doing like the sea moss, the ashwanga, the maca. I had a whole cocktail that I had every morning. And from that cocktail, I was able to lower my cholesterol. I was able to lower my LDL, my lousy cholesterol. I was able, believe it or not, I increased my damn estrogen. Yes, my numbers came up phenomenally well with my hormones. So I was like, hey, oh girl, you're doing something right. And I was feeling amazing. And then, life happened and I did not continue on my journey. Places I was getting products from closed up. And I was like, where am I getting my ashwagandha powder from? Where? And I can get it online, please, please. I know there's places I can get it. All right. But I was just being financially conscious of where I was buying it from. And the place I was buying it from was financially feasible for me at the time. So therefore they closed that place up. And now I'm like, feel like I'm up Shit's Creek without a paddle, but that's not true. Because where there's a will, there's a way. And I have a lot of will, so I know I got a way. So yeah, so it's just I'm getting back on. I'm getting back to myself. I had a friend of mine and I sent her a message and she was like, oh, that's my Diana. That's who I know. That's where you been. Because sometimes you just forget about you and forget about who you are and just you get sucked into all this other stuff in life. So I'm just gonna keep driving, keep manifesting my greatness, the things I love to do. I had somebody ask me, you have all these things that you do, which one is your true passion? And then I talked about each one, right? I started out with my podcast. I said, I love my podcast. I get to talk to the world. I get to talk to whomever is going to be listening, even if it's just one person. I get to engage with you. Okay. I get to meet new people and bring them on and talk to them and pick their brains about different things, how they're growing, how they're living their authentic self, how are they maintaining themselves in this crazy world that we're living in, right? And then Collins Education Resource Management. I love because I get to talk to the community about health, wealth, maintaining them sense of self, and teaching them how to advocate for themselves and healthcare equity. I get to talk to nursing students, okay, for real, not being gate kept by administration, but I get to talk to nursing students and really engage with them on who they are, what their goals are, what they want to do, where do they see themselves? Is healthcare really for them? And I get to talk realness with them, and that's what I love. love, love, love. And then I have Divine Nubian Essentials. Now, y'all heard me talk about Divine Nubian Essentials. That is like my first of the two babies. I think they both, all of these three happened at the same time. I think College Education Resource Management started first, and then the next month Divine Nubian Essentials started, and then the next month podcast started. So they all happened around the same time, right? So um, Divine Nubian Essentials is like, oh, my love, because you know what? It keeps my skin looking as beautiful as it does. It's maintaining the longevity of my skin. It maintains the longevity of my nails, and it damn sure maintains my hair because that's all I use in my hair. And my hair, you guys saw pictures. It started when it was really short, about 4 inches long. And here we are. I'm going, April will make year 6. April will make year 6 of my hair and using Divine Nubian Essentials. So it's my baby, right? And then so I just, I don't know. I just, they're all me, all parts of me. So I just can't say I can take this one away. And I feel like someone's gonna, my husband, he tells me, and other people tell me, well, you can't make all of these things great. You have to really put your focus in one thing. And I'm going to be honest. I have a hard time focusing on one thing. I really do. So I just do my best and I present my best and I'm here. And that's what I do. I'm sorry. It's kind of cold in here. My husband got the air conditioning on and I'm a little chilly, but it's okay. So yeah, so it's these are all uh, me, my passions. I love them. So I say all this to share the fact about the arts and being in the arts and having a conversation with Rambizia. That conversation with her last night, she did a talk. That conversation that she had, she really talked about herself and how she became an artist and you know her life growing up in LA and then, school and things like that. And then diving into art, first time she painted, the first time she drew some. And she has a collection, and I think she called it the centerpieces or something like that. I believe I may be wrong, but it's just like, oh, wow, that rocks. So she asked us all a question, and I'm going to share this question with you guys because I think it was a great question. And when I heard it the other day, I was like, oh, yeah, we're talking about that. So the question was, what makes you the centerpiece? Right? And I was sitting there like, what makes me the centerpiece? I never thought of myself the centerpiece of anything. Um, and that's not me thinking less of myself. It's just I never thought of myself as a centerpiece or the centerpiece of anything. And so I sat there and was like, what makes me the centerpiece? I'm gonna be honest, I sound figured it out. I am an ambivert, okay, individual. I am an ambivert. I am a person who loves being in their own space, but also likes to meet people and have conversations in short spurts. That's me. Because I will go out. I pretend like I want to go out every night. I don't want to go out every night. I enjoy being home. I'm okay being home. And I'm okay doing nothing at home. But I also have a proclivity of wanting to go out every now and again. And it's usually a big event where a lot of energy is going to be expunged. And so by the time I get home, I'm just like so done. But it really, that question really made me think, and it's still making me think, obviously, because we're talking about it now, but it makes me think, like, what makes me the centerpiece? And I never thought of myself as a centerpiece of anything. So when I come in a room, what makes me the centerpiece? Is it my smile? Is it my stoic look? Because some days I can have a serious RBF. Maybe it's that made me the centerpiece. Was it my clothes? Was it my necklace? Maybe it was my hair. Sometimes my hair is the centerpiece. Somebody like when was it? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I walked into the gift shop of the hospital, and the young lady just looked at me and she said, "I love your hair. It's beautiful." And I said, "Thank you, honey." Right? So if I'm thinking about it, that day my hair was the centerpiece. I went on a unit talking to the nurses. As I was leaving, they said, "Wow, I just want to tell you, your dress is beautiful." So for them, my dress was the centerpiece. So then now you pulling it all apart, and I'm like, the centerpiece is going to be different depending on who it is admiring you, plain and simple. So for me, it's even though yesterday was a regular lecture day for me where I had to lecture students and then I had to go somewhere else to the hospital because they have clinical coming up. So I had to go to clinicals and check the clinical sites and make sure I know where I'm going before I take them. So so yesterday was just a regular day, but depending on where I was, one saw my hair as a centerpiece and the other one saw my dress as a centerpiece. And then I had on a Hamza necklace, which is the eye of protection. And my necklace was a centerpiece there. So depending, right, on where and who is admiring or whose presence you're in, that centerpiece is going to vary. Okay. And that's what I got out of that conversation, that day, that what makes you the centerpiece, that question there, that's what I got out of that, because any given day the centerpiece, the centerpiece will change, you depending on what's going on, depending on how you feel, those kinds of things. It could be something you said that makes you the centerpiece, your eyes that day. Okay. Could have been your smile, could have been the centerpiece of that day. So I want you to think about what was the centerpiece for you. And it could have been, you can tell yourself what the centerpiece, you can probably, for me, it really made me think. I had to play back the day to really come up with an idea of what and who was a centerpiece for me. Now, did I engage with anyone to say what their centerpiece was? I'm not sure. Usually I do. Oh, one young lady, she's pregnant, so that was the centerpiece. Her pregnancy was a centerpiece for me. So your centerpiece is going to vary depending on what it is that you're looking at within that individual. So again, what is your centerpiece? What makes you the centerpiece? And sometimes for me, what makes me the centerpiece, again, will vary. For me that day, I felt really good because I had on a pretty dress and I did my hair. So those two things for me were my centerpiece, and two people acknowledged those centerpieces for me. And I appreciate that, because you never know. You don't know what's going on in somebody's head or what's going on with their day. And it was really nice for someone to acknowledge my hair looked nice and that my dress was beautiful. So there's your centerpieces. So for that, we're going to take a little quick intermission, and then we'll be back. Soulful Eclectic is a podcast for being authentic stuff every Friday at 6 p.m. Brought to you by College Education Essentials. Loving the skin you in and helping students one day at a time. Our resident author, Miss Dupree, in Heaven Hoodoo and Hoodoo Heaven. So, WUBI Radio, the Soulful Eclectic, every Friday, 6 WBI TV, and Hoodoo Radio. Hey guys. Ciao. It's been a day. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you. So yes. So what makes you the centerpiece, right? Yeah. Excuse me. I was a little thirsty there. Yeah, so that's a conversation. What makes you a centerpiece? But the other part of that I want to talk to you is how are you representing yourself um, to yourself and others? Yeah, that was a question. How are you representing yourself to yourself and others? I had to read it verbatim, and I had to think about that. How am I representing myself to myself? Huh. So with that one, I had to really sit and have a conversation with me because I forget about me a lot. I think about others all the time. And I had a friend who said, "Hey, what are you going to do for you?" And I was like, I am going away for me. But then I feel like I'm being selfish because, like, I'm married. I'm like, I'm my husband. I haven't. We have not had like a really good vacation in a few years. Like where we just took each other and just hung out. Like our anniversary, talking about representing yourself was something that represented myself and represented him. And we spent literally 4 days at a resort 30 minutes away from our house. So yes, we left our house to go stay in a hotel for 4 days, and it was absolutely magnificent. We will do it again. That is the perfect staycation ever. And so, what representing myself? How am I representing? Just by coming in and being my authentic self. I tell my students all the time. I say I am honest to a fault. I am completely transparent. You ask me a question, I'm going to give you an honest answer because honestly, my brain cells are busy doing other things that I cannot remember a lie that I told you. I'm not going to try to remember some falsity of details that I fed you to make you feel better and to make me look like I'm grandiose. Not doing it. Don't have that kind of time. Don't have that kind of capacity in my brain because let me tell you, at this point in my life, I've suffered from what we call CRS. Can't remember shit. Okay. And I apologize to my husband very often for this because I don't do it intentionally, but I just can't. I don't remember. I have to write it down. And then when I write it down, I don't remember where the hell I put the piece of paper that I wrote it down on. So there's that. Okay. So, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. But how am I representing myself? Just by coming up and showing up and just being me. I tell people that all the time. And I, at one point in time in my life, and we had this conversation in the past. If you, like I said, you follow me on the Soulful Eclectic, we've had this conversation where I mentioned to you that I'm tired of wearing masks. Okay. Them things are heavy, and then I don't know which one to put on, which one to take off, and they start piling up on your face, and all of a sudden it's dragging you down like that, and it's just like a whole heap of I don't want to do it anymore. So when I show up as me. Some days I have a full face of makeup and I'm glamorous. Some days I'm just me, where I can barely get concealer on the cloud, to hide these dark circles under my eyes because they are relentless. I had to find a recipe to work for those. Yeah, I'm working on it. But yeah, so I just show up and be me. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it just doesn't resonate with people, and it's okay. And that's how I tell my husband to show up because I once upon a time I used to cringe wondering what he's gonna say, certain things. And not that he would embarrass me. No, he was just being himself. And I had to step back and allow him to be himself, no matter where we were. If we were in a formal gala and he's talking about whatever, then it works. It's who he is. Who am I to shutter that, shelter that, cover that? No, I don't do that. I don't. I just let him be. He's amazing. They see he's amazing, and because that's the way we grew up, right? Certain things you don't say in certain rooms, and certain things I don't say. Certain things is not worth saying. It's not for everybody. Everything you do, everything that's inside you, is not for everybody. So I don't share all of me with everybody. And I think that's how I represent me too, is that I'm sorry, how are you presenting yourself and yourself to others? Yeah, I think that's how I present myself too, is that I just show up and be me. And some days I'm tired and don't want to conversate. So you get very little out of me. Some days I'm energetic and I've got pep in my step, and you may get a lot out of me. Some days I'm filling you out and I'm like, I don't know about you. Then there's that. And that's a whole different me. That's a whole different me. But I present myself. This is me. This is me. Some days I'm up, some days I'm down, some days I'm even keel, some days I'm like, I got you. I'm just gonna sit back. So it just depends. It just depends. But I want to ask you that too, to share that with you guys too, to ask that question about think about how are you presenting yourself to yourself and to others. Okay. And I always want to present the best me that I have. And sometimes the best me is a quiet me because sometimes you don't want to hear what's coming out of this mouth, what's coming out. Some things were meant to stay in that speech bubble. And I'm not to get on the political train, but let me tell you, okay. I know y'all all saw it. Y'all all felt it. Kamala Harris, I don't care how y'all feel about her. I'm not going to sit here and give my opinion about her or whatever. That woman's got some skills. Same thing with Jasmine. What's her name? Oh God, that, mm, I'm sorry, Congresswoman. I was just looking at you and listening to you today. But her, I'm gonna look it up because it's just it's killing me. She's going to be at the NAACP dinner, founders dinner here. I think it's founders dinner. I forgot what the dinner is here, but I was kind of debating on whether I'm gonna go. I'm so sorry because it bothers me when I don't remember somebody's name. Um, and oh gosh, oh Jiminy Crickets. Oh, what is her name? It's not Jasmine Sullivan. That's the singer. Um, Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. That's her name. I'm sorry. I needed to look that up because I really try not to mess up people's names. Even though my husband laughs at me because I can mess up somebody's name, and it's not intentional. It's just I try to do word association, and sometimes the word I associate with the person gets stuck in my head, and then the real name just doesn't go. But um, Jasmine Crockett, those, I mean, and there's many others. Our Supreme Justice, all of them. These women are so well articulate, but I swear I saw everybody's auntie, mama, big mama, all in Kamala when she was trying not to call that man out of his name. And we all felt that, right? Because we all experienced it from our parents when they start stuttering on your name and they just said you mm. And then they close their eyes and they regain themselves and take a nice deep breath, and then they come out with your name. They come out with what they meant to say, and all the other things in their head, it's gonna stay there. But those of us know, we see, we read it, right? So I'm that person as well, where things will show on my face as I'm trying to regain composure. So, but you know what? It's who we are as individuals, right? That's what makes us amazing. You know, I just loved how she captured herself and remained that stoic, composed woman that she is. And so, like I said, I don't get on the political train. I'm not going to talk about party over party over party, but I admire that, and that resonated with me because, and probably so many other women out there, because we've caught ourselves, right? We've caught ourselves when we want to like you. Mm, mm-hmm, mm, that part. Right, we did. But yeah, so it's just been it's interesting. It's interesting to see, and I hope you all do your part in whatever it is. I'm not going to sit here and say one thing over another. I just you know what you should do and how it feels for you. So do what resonates within your soul. But yeah, have your voice be heard. I love it. I love it. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I just totally lost it. But I just had to mention Kamala because that was like every every woman knew. Every woman knew what she every look in the men even knew what she was going to say. Come on, how many times they've been stopped by their wives and mothers doing that same stutter, right? Before they said something, because you don't want to say something out of turn, because remember, once it comes out, there's no taking those words back. And especially today when everything is taped and recorded and memed, 2.2 seconds. I mean, and even the fact that we know what she was going to say has been memed in 2.2 seconds. So it's all good. The fact is that she still didn't say it. So even though there was some insinuation behind it, she did not say it. She held her decorum, and kudos to Madam President for that. Excuse me, Madam Vice President. Maybe I'm foreshadowing. Who knows? But anyways, but during this time, it's been a challenge for a lot of people with transitioning of, as you see, we're transitioning, preparing to transition power. But we also have our own set of transitions within our homes and within ourselves, and maintaining our sense of self and being and presenting our individual selves on a day-to-day basis is part of showing up for us as well. It's strenuous to put on these faces. It's so painful, but again, I get tired of carrying the mask and changing my mask, so therefore I choose not to wear them anymore. They're hanging on my wall. I remember those masks very well. And as I am embarking on my artistic creative path, uh, going well, I can't even say embarking because I was an artist, and I feel like I still am an artist. I just have it regressed in the back of my mind because I put my professional career first, and then now I'm coming back into the art community. And so as I start to put words into forms, I am reworking our lives. So conversations change, friendships, everything is changing. It's just a season of change, the harvest, right? We've grown some things. We got to pull up those weeds, right? Those things that don't belong. And then we got to cultivate those pieces that we want to grow so we can enjoy the fruits of it. So some of that clearing of the weeds can be difficult. So I had a conversation with a friend of mine who lives out in out far out there. And it's just being real with your conversations with those who entrust you with their information about their personal selves. Um, and something we were talking about relationships, and I'm very transparent with mine and my husband's relationship, as we're, like I told you, we're growing together, and we have some missteps, and so we fell off of our meetings for a little while, and we just started getting back on a couple of months ago. So we have our local meeting, our local chapter meeting with each other in our homes once a week, once a month. We try to do it once a week, but definitely there's a once a month check-in. But then we also have a bigger meeting, a family meeting. So the family meeting actually incorporates our daughter and her fiance, and now soon to be child. We incorporate them into the family meeting. So they are, because we're a family. We're their grandparents. We're an extended part of the family, but it's still a family meeting. So we have a family meeting, and we're pretty much we really are overdue for a family meeting, but she just has some things going on. So we're going to get back on that. Our oldest daughter, unfortunately, at this time, has not partaken in the family meeting as yet. Hopefully, as she is growing and finding her peace in herself, she will join back in. But at this time, it's just us two here, and our daughter and her fiance. But it brings me to the conversation of, again, maintaining our sense of self. And it's hard to do that when you're in a relationship and you want to be there. So being married requires you to be, one, centered with yourself and being okay with yourself and providing self-care, but also thinking about the other person. Now, you're probably saying, I can't, I have to do both. Yeah, because you're not in a relationship by yourself. So I always have to remind myself that you have your husband here. And people always say, oh, why do you have to ask your husband? I say, I'm not checking in with my husband, asking for permission. I'm checking in with my husband so that we are on the same page. So I find that not everyone does that. Everyone does that, and that's a personal choice. I don't have, again, transparent. I don't have any secrets. It takes too much time to have secrets, to hide things. Oh, my brain. I can't do it. Right. So, but I do forget things. And so he's like, well, why didn't you tell me this? I'm like, well, I kind of forgot. So I've gotten into the habit of writing things and putting it on a calendar as soon as I know, so that it's in the forefront. So even if he says, oh, you got this thing on Thursday, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, it's on the calendar. You put it on the calendar. You got to be here on Thursday. And so I'm like, glad I did that because I forgot. So it helps me too. But I, again, I know you guys heard me mention this, and if I'm repeating it, I'm sorry, but I just love it. This is the other book, Making Marriage Work. I know it's not like a self help book or anything, but I love Judge Toller. I've been watching her on Divorce Court. I've watched her when she was on Marriage Boot Camp. She's great. Um, I do feel for her. She lost her husband. It'll be 2 years, I believe, and so that one is hard. And I appreciate her sharing her transition, her growth during this change in her life, because it is a change, it is a growth, it's a transition, and it doesn't happen overnight. And I appreciate that she's sharing that and that she gives herself grace and time, because none of this happens overnight. But that being said, there are some things in here that I wanted to share, and I think I've shared out of this book before. But yes, so she's got these things called the rules. The rules, and I like them, and I think I'm going to just share a few of the rules, if I so can, because it. I mean, it's been helpful. It's helpful, right? And they're not broken up into like anything in particular. So the first rule, and I mentioned this rule because I honestly just had this conversation with someone who talked to me honestly about their relationship. And I remember saying this, um, that the reason why my husband and I work so hard at what we do is because of rule number one from this book: decide to be consciously married. We decided to be married, right? We decided to be married. So, with that decision, that means I'm choosing to work on our marriage. I'm choosing to focus on what it is that we're doing. I'm choosing to focus on our growth. I'm choosing you. I'm never going to be the one that said, well, I can get anyone out there. So what makes you any? No, no, not doing it. I'm choosing to be here. So let's make this work. What are we going to do about this? Because at the end of the day, I ain't going nowhere. So how are we going to make this work? Now, in that choice of being here, there's that choice that you don't want to be there. Then you need to make that decision, and you need to have that conversation, and you need to be honest with each other, yourself and the other person, about that change. Now, I'm just going to talk about one rule because, I mean, we can be, we're going to do one rule at a time. Um, because I think there's a lot to be said about the choice of being somewhere. And it's been known that marriage is a contract. Yes. People are so quick to break contracts and get divorced for whatever the reason. Now, there are reasons to get divorced. Please don't get me wrong. Uh, Abuse, neglect, disrespect, you can get divorced. It's okay. but it shouldn't be the first thing on your mind unless those things are there. Now, if you're growing together, there's going to be some growing pains. Do you want to be here? I constantly ask myself that. Do I want to be here? Do I want to do this? It's a real question. I asked my husband, do you want to do this? Do you still, do you want to be here? And it's no disrespect to him, or he's not disrespecting me. Some days you come and you look like, I don't want to be bothered with you right now. And I think Viola Davis said, right? I mean, she said it, and it was the realest thing ever when she says, I love him. Some days I don't like him. Some days I want to rip his head off. But at the end of the day, there's nobody else I'd rather be with. Now, if you can't say that about your spouse, then you really need to really think about where it is you're going with your relationship, because it's too easy for you to check out. If for any reason I'm in a space where I'm ready to check out, I have a conversation with my husband. He has conversations with me. And as I said, I'm fully transparent, full disclosure. I'm going through menopause. My libido is shit. Okay. And we've talked about libido and menopause and sexual health and penile health some seasons back, some episodes back. So this is not something new that I'm talking about. I've talked about this, and I'll be more than happy to bring it back and have the conversation on a special whatever. But this is not new. All right. So yes. So he will sit with me and say, "Hey, what's going on? We haven't been a minute." I can't blame him. That's honest. And at the end of the day, I tell him all the time, "You're my best friend." So that's real talk. And then now I gotta sit with that. It's like, shit, dang, it's been a minute. What we gonna do about that? Right? And I have to, it's just, what are you gonna do about it? So those are conversations, real conversations that when you talk about being and presenting, how do I want to say that? When we talk about how are you presenting yourself, right? How are you presenting yourself to others? Your spouse is your first other. And how are you presenting yourself to them? So when you made that conscious decision to marry that individual, that for better, for worse, it's real. Because you're going to have some worse days where you're going to sit there and you'll be like, I married you. What the hell? And then they're going to be sitting there looking at you doing the same thing. Now, why did I marry you again? It's human. But at the end of the day, I can tell you everything, every reason why I married my husband. And my husband can tell you every reason why he married me and why we're still together. We made a conscious decision to unite and be married. And we're making a conscious decision to continue to be married. And we make a conscious effort to work on it. Yeah, it's work. Child, let me not get so down. It is work. But there's some fun in that work. We have some good times. Last night we had the best laugh ever. I had tears in my eyes. My face hurt. Listen, there's some good days. And when you got more good days than bad days, that shit's worth having and it's worth working for. Because at the end of the day, listen, we got some crazy folks out there and they are doing some crazy things. And I don't want to be in those crazy numbers. So I'll deal with what I know I have no intention to not be dealing with it, but life has its way of throwing you curveballs and challenges and changes. So I'm enjoying the ride while I'm on it, right? And that's what we do. But anyways, I can go on, and I have like several other rules that we have to talk about. But right now, that's the rule that sticks with me that I wanted to talk about. Decide to be consciously married. Yeah, decide to be consciously married. That's what it's about. But anyways, so on that note, I'm going to say welcome again to season 7. We got some great conversations coming on, and I appreciate you all for taking the time out to be here and to have the conversation with me again. Thank you to Divine Nubian Essentials for the hair and skincare products that you provide. Thank you to all of those who have ordered your purchase from me. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to your continuing hair and skincare needs. And to Collins Education Resource Management, thank you to all my students who reached out and got some tutoring sessions, got some mentoring sessions. Thank you to those in the community who reached out for community conversations on healthcare advocacy, diversity, equity, inclusion in healthcare, and also LGBTQ IA plus healthcare needs as well, because there are healthcare needs that are different and that are not being addressed effectively as well. So thank you all for reaching out and having those conversations. And I look forward to having more conversations with you all. And again, like I said, we will be talking more about the lovely Your Honor Lynn Toller and her book, because I like what she has to say. And I'm going to bring our resident author back, Miss Reggie Dupree, and have a conversation with her as well. And, you know, from being prospectively engaged in conversation with one another. And we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about, because y'all know how I go on Soulful, Eclectic. You can start on one end and it all be good, and next thing you know, we going off the rails, people. But it's okay. We have it. We do it all in fun, and we have a good time, and we just being ourselves and enjoying life. And that's what it's all about. You only get to live life, the one that God gave you. You get to live it every day that you get up and you get to breathe. So every day that you are awake is a new day. It's a new beginning for your life. The only time that doesn't happen is when you don't wake up, and we don't have a timestamp on the bottom of our foot to tell us when we're going to expire. So my goal is to enjoy it as best I can. Try not to worry and just be the best me that I can be. All right. So with that, I say, if you want to connect with me, the ticker here has all the information. dc@thesoulfuleclectic.com is the email. And then you can find us on the World Wide Web, thesoulfuleclectic.com. Then you can find us on WUBI, Ubiquity Radio and TV. If you haven't downloaded the app, please do. The app on your iPhone or Google Playlist, and your app on the Roku TV. We are on every Friday, 6 p.m. And that's Pacific Standard. Oh, no, not Pacific. Mountain Standard Time. Because we're not in California. But we're on Mountain Standard Time. So 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That will be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, depending on when the time changed. When time changing, y'all know, do what you do. And I look forward to hearing from you all. Please, if you want to be a guest, reach out. I take all text, emails, and phone calls. Please reach out. And I look forward to hearing from you all. So take care of yourselves first, then each other. Okay? Remember, airplane, put your oxygen mask on, and then the next person's oxygen mask on. So take care of yourself first, and then each other. All right? Y'all take care. Namaste.